Happy New Year! Well, almost. I was pretty busy with family adventures on Thursday, so I didn't do, my normal Thursday check in. Happy New Year! So I'm doing a little impromptu one right now. I'm actually going to be heading over to Daniela's, who plays Kate and is also a producer. I'm going to be heading over to her house for a little New Year's Eve party in a little bit here. But just wanted to check in and like share the really amazing news that we reached our goal. Woo! We actually reached it when I was in flight, and I like tuned in. I email or signed on to the really terrible online like go in flight, which is not a good stream. But I tuned in and I found out in the air, and it was like super duper exciting. And so we're stoked, and we're seeing if we can maybe make it to 40. We'll be Our campaign ends on the 4th, or on the 5th. I'm sorry. So we're seeing if we can, you know, make it to one more level on our goal by then. So yeah, we're pushing forward, and we're really excited and really grateful for everyone for their for all of your amazing support, and it's been so amazing, so we're really excited. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm back in sunny LA. I was in Minnesota for the holiday, and it was so cold. So cold. But yes, I'm back home, and we're excited for the season to hit the ground running in the new year. Hopefully we'll start shooting in March. Yeah, so how is everybody doing? How are you all spending New Year's? 2017 was quite a year. Felt pretty exhausting, but feeling really good about 2018, especially knowing that we're going to make this show happen. It's definitely going to be hard and take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we're feeling really motivated and excited to have it happen. Yes. Oh, well, I'm glad I could say hello to you. I hope things kind of turn around. I know the idea of a new year can like seem like a lot of pressure. It's really just a new day. Um, I don't know, like our culture gets pretty inundated with all of these like new year, new you, like all of that kind of crap, which I don't really abide to. The only New Year's resolution that I've ever successfully done is about 3 years ago. I made the New Year's resolution. This is gross. To take my contacts out every night before I went to sleep, because I was in a really bad habit of sleeping in my contacts. Don't do it. And I successfully took my contacts out every night before I went to sleep that year, and have never slept in them since. So, I'm all about really attainable, emotion free resolutions. Like another good resolution is like don't text while driving, things like that. Um, Resolutions that have to do with weight or shape or exercise or food, I think, are generally pretty negative, and I would not recommend them. Oh, you were going to be at New Year's Rockin' Eve? That sounds crazy. Being at home with the puppy sounds a little bit better to me. But I guess everyone can tune in to the new Rockin' Eve. Um, well, good, Alexander. I'm glad you're feeling positive for 2018. That is the spirit. Yes, it's going to be better. Um, yeah, 2017 was a tough one. It was a tough one for pretty much everyone that I know. Um, so, there is something nice about this feeling of newness. Um, my resolution, okay. Yeah, I'm proud of you for No is your name. I'm proud of you for making that your resolution. And, even if it doesn't, even if you're not feeling right now like you achieved it, you've certainly taken steps to address it and examine it a little more thoroughly. And so, maybe now in the new year, you can try and hook up with a new therapist or a dietitian or someone who you feel can really help you get to the next step in your journey. Or maybe, maybe just try and take care of yourself tonight and get a really good night's sleep and do something fun that you enjoy tomorrow. Happy New Year for people still stuck in 2017. Yes, I'm still in 2017. Are you in another country? Are you in 28? Is anyone on here in 2018 yet? Is it amazing? Is it as amazing as we think it and hope that it might be? What time is it here? It's like 6 p.m. Oh, you're in 2018, Alexander. Well, enjoy it. It's so good. Amazing. Well, I'm glad. That's like some really great news. Oh, yep. Yeah, it's 5:30 in LA. Oh, North Africa. Amazing. 2018. Woohoo. Yay, 2018s. We're going to start filming in March. We're super, super stoked. Oh, hey, Germany. I love how many people from all over the world tune in. It's really cool. I still have can I do my math? 6.5 hours to go. Austria. Oh my God. Where is Binge going to be aired? That's a great question. We're not entirely sure yet. Most likely on YouTube. What we're going to do is once we have all 6 episodes, we're going to take those 6 episodes and sort of shop them around a little bit to see if somebody wants to distribute them on a wider platform, a platform that could, reach more people. But if that doesn't happen, or, if we can't find a deal that we like, then we'll definitely just, keep doing YouTube because we love the audience that has formed around it. You guys are amazing. So that's most likely. But definitely, like, if you're following us on social media, we're going to keep you all posted on all of the progress and what's happening and all of that good stuff. So you will not be in the dark. March is my birthday month too. What day? So yes, so it's exciting times, exciting times. We're sort of getting ready to start pre-production, and what that means is pre-production is when you find your locations and hire your actors and hire your crew and break down the story so that we figure out the order that we want to shoot in and all of that stuff. Am I still basing season 1 off of my story? Sort of. It's all loosely inspired by my journey. Definitely the pilot is kind of the closest to my journey. As the show goes on, it's still going to sort of center around my character as kind of the way in, but we also want to look at other people with different types of eating disorders. So we're going to be introducing a bunch of new characters in the treatment facility and sort of getting to know their journeys and their struggles. And those are going to be based on people I've met, some of the people that will be cast, and it's gonna be really exciting. We're excited to share what we've got going for you. We're not sure where we're shooting yet. Most likely in Los Angeles. We're super excited, and we'll if we get to a point where we're gonna do auditions, we'll definitely make an announcement. That'll sort of depend on a couple of different things. I didn't ever do inpatient. I did PHP and IOP. So the program that the character is in will be a PHP program, partial hospitalization, so like half day in, half day out. Julene, have I ever struggled with dissociation? I haven't, thankfully. I've never struggled with that. I mean, there are definitely times like during binges where I would sort of lose track of time and kind of get tunnel vision and be in a place where sort of the worlds fell away, but never a dissociation in terms of like I know dissociation happens oftentimes in cases of trauma with PTSD. That's something I've never experienced, which is have been really lucky for me that I have haven't gone through that. Um, but yeah, the team and I are gearing up. We also have a brand new binge review headed your way on Wednesday. This week we will be talking with this amazing woman named Meg Burton. She is the leader of the SoCal chapter of Project Heal. And Project Heal is this amazing organization that provides grants to people who can't get treatment for eating disorders. They do absolutely incredible work, and we're super excited to share that interview with you. It should be cool. You have a frequently dislocating knee. That sounds awful. I'm really sorry. That sounds really painful. It sounds like maybe a sports injury or something. I'm super sorry to hear that. But yeah, it's really nice to be sort of launching into the new year fully funded. It feels really good. We're really excited about it. Yeah. So I might keep this as like a little bit of a shorter live stream, but I definitely wanted to open it up if anyone has any other questions or things they want to discuss. I hope everyone is doing well post Christmas. I know that that's a really difficult time. I hope that everyone is feeling good, and if you're not feeling good, that's totally okay too. It's totally okay to be going through whatever it is that you're going through. Yeah. Let's see, any questions from anybody? If not, that's totally cool too. Oh, thank you. Question from No. Did you relapse while trying to recover because you compared yourself to others? And Emmy also asked if I ever struggled with relapse. So I sort of think of relapse as something. Relapse is one thing, and a slip up as another. So in recovery, when I would have behaviors, I would consider those slip ups because I was actively working on my recovery, trying to get better. A relapse for me was kind of what I experienced between the first and second times that I went to treatment. And I consider that a relapse when it was, months at a time that I was struggling and when I wasn't trying for recovery anymore, when I was sort of giving over to my eating disorder, saying, this is who I am, this is what I am. But yeah, I definitely struggled with slip ups. What was really nice is, being in a PHP program, I had a lot of support around me to help me manage the emotional fallout of those behaviors. And also, and I think this was incredibly important for me, to make sure that I continued to follow my meal plan despite any kind of slip ups that I had. So if I had a binge, I still had to eat breakfast and follow my full meal plan the next day. So I was consistently getting the nutrients that I needed to fuel my body despite any behaviors that I might be having. So that was the most important piece for me. And then working with therapists and in group to deal with the emotions that came out of those instances, and the guilt and the shame and the regret and the anxiety and the fear, all of those things were definitely very palpable. But I was able to sort of process them in a really safe and supportive space. And that was really helpful. Yay! I'm so glad to hear you didn't count calories. Do you have any advice on how to tell someone about having an eating disorder? Sometimes doing things like writing letters can be really useful. I know that unveiling something like this face to face can be really difficult. And I understand not feeling like you can trust your school counselors, but I would maybe say, I don't know what the situation is for you there, but I would say maybe see what happens when you talk to them about it. Parents can be a really, that can be a super, super scary step. But, maybe feeling things out with a guidance counselor, maybe starting with, I'm dealing, with anxiety about something, or, I'm afraid to tell you this because I don't really trust you. Just saying flat out that you don't trust them, I think, is a totally fine and fair thing to do. When I first opened up to my mom about my eating disorder, I had asked her if I could start seeing a therapist just for anxiety, and I started seeing a therapist, and eventually I decided I wanted to tell my mom that I had an eating disorder, and so we brought my mom into the therapy session. So I told her in a safe space with my therapist there to kind of manage her reaction and my reaction, and to educate her a little bit about what eating disorders are. And I felt very supported, and like I was in a safe space, and there was someone there to sort of guide the conversation. That was really useful. Um, how do I keep up with recovery when something really bad happens? That's a great question, and a definite test to recovery. Um, you know, when things are chaotic, when my life feels hard, I start to, the thoughts come back and the impulses come back. And that's when I really try to remind myself of the things that I learned in treatment, which is like I go to behaviors first. And by that I mean I make sure that I am eating what I need to be eating first. So if that means falling back on a meal plan, even if you haven't used a meal plan for a while, that can be a really useful tool just to make sure that even if your emotions are out of whack, if you're feeling really anxious or depressed, that you're giving your body the things that it needs to function. Making sure not to slide backwards into behaviors, I think, is number one. I would definitely recommend, if you don't can still see a therapist, to get back into therapy with them, to start leaning on friends, to talk about it, to say these things out loud. I'm having these impulses, I'm having these urges, so that it doesn't slip back into privacy and into secret keeping, because that kind of thing can happen really fast. But the fact that you recognize it, I think, is a huge step. Listen to that healthy voice. Build that healthy voice up. If you feel like you might be slipping into something, you probably are. So start getting really proactive on what you can do to keep yourself safe and healthy. Um, let's see. How do I get help when I'm not underweight? So to them, I'm not sick enough. This is such a big problem, and something that I know I felt when I was in treatment. I felt like I wasn't sick enough, that I wasn't worthy of support or of treatment. I would say, maybe look into something like Project Heal, a type of place service that can provide grants to help you seek treatment if insurance won't cover it, or if doctors won't cover it. It's a big injustice and a lack of education in the healthcare system that for some reason weight matters with eating disorders. Of course it can matter, but not everyone wears their eating disorder. you know um, Eating disorders can look as varied as the bodies that exist on this planet. And I'm really sorry that, that the doctors aren't listening to you. I wonder if there's a way for you to see different doctors, to find a therapist, to find a dietitian, to find anyone who can help to give you bits of knowledge and guidance to cling on to, so that you're not so alone in dealing with this. I'd say getting on a meal plan is really important, and seeing a therapist, definitely. Let's see. Do you find talking about eating disorders triggering? Not anymore, not really. For me, talking about it is sort of the anti-trigger, because my eating disorder really fed on secrecy and on shame. And every time I talk about it, I'm sort of bringing it all out into the open again. And I can't do the crazy mind games that we play with ourselves, right? Like, I can't do the magical thinking. I can't pretend that it's not an issue for me. So I'm able to sort of confront these parts of myself. And, you know, there's also this thing that happens or happened for me in recovery where when I got to a certain place, when I was stable enough and have kind of been able to take on a bit of an advocacy position, it's really reinforced my own recovery because I feel like I'm accountable to more than just myself, and that my recovery is bigger than just me. And for me, that's really helpful. You know, I don't know if that's the case for everyone, but I know that for me, that's been a really, really helpful thing. Um, let's see. Do I have any opinions on alcohol or its calories for Christmas or New Year's? Well, for one, I don't think or talk about calories. That's something that I can't ever let my brain go into because I was really obsessed with calorie counting for a really long time. And I just can't do it, won't do it anymore. Calories, schmalaries. As far as alcohol, though, you know, I think that if there's something in you that's worried about it, um, maybe maybe think about what is that, where does that anxiety come from? I know that for me, once in a while, alcohol can trigger my eating disorder thoughts, and can make me kind of, you know, go back into a headspace that is really negative. Not always, but every once in a while. And when that starts to happen, I take a break from it. um, there's no reason that you ever have to drink. You know, lots of fun can be had without it. And so if there's any part of you that's like, "Ooh, this feels like it might be dicey, like I'm a little bit worried about this," I'd say just don't drink, you know? Have some nice fizzy water or a soda or something instead. Um, because it's not worth putting yourself through emotional pain, you know, for just like a little bit of alcohol. Um, when is the new episode coming? So we're going to start shooting in March. And then ideally, we will release the season at the end of 2018, hopefully by the end of 2018. We'll definitely keep you posted, so follow us on all of the social media to get all of the updates about it. But we're really excited. And thank you, Tara. That's really sweet. I really appreciate that. Have you had any slip-ups lately in recovery? You know, not lately. I can say with a lot of happiness. I've been in recovery for a long time now, almost 5 years, and I'm feeling pretty solid in it, which is really great. Definitely when I'm stressed out, the thoughts come back in a little bit more force than normally exists. The thoughts get a little bit louder, and the impulses get a little bit stronger. But but I've, you know, practiced recovery for such a long time now that I don't use the behaviors anymore. Um, and my life is so much better for it. I've sort of learned how to sit in discomfort and manage the impulses. And the impulses come less and less, and the voices are quieter and quieter the more you practice it, and the more you build up your healthy self. Those eating disorder voices sort of fade away. And it's really liberating and really awesome. Um, Awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in to this very impromptu New Year's little chat. Um, it's been really, really great to be here with you. And I'll do another one of these sometime next week. Um, Oh, real quick, any advice for all of the weight loss resolutions? Like if you feel pressured, I just say, you know, if you have friends or loved ones who want to talk about weight or shape with you, just say, you know what, I'm not interested in talking with you about that stuff. That stuff isn't interesting to me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what you're interested in doing this year with your mind. Are you going on any hikes? Are you going on any vacations? What are you studying in school? Like, focus on the things that are actually interesting, because weight and shape aren't actually very interesting at all. Um, so I would just say, like, create boundaries with friends and people that you spend time with, and be like, look, like, please don't bring that stuff up around me. It's triggering and it's not interesting. And I'd rather talk with you about something that's interesting and actually has to do with you, and not the way that your body manifests itself. That's what I would say. Okay, that is it for today. Everyone have a safe, lovely New Year's Eve or start of 2018. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll chat soon. Mwah, 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 mwah.